All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's Rich, and I have one more brief report here. This is basically for the benefit of all the new folks that I've recently spoken with in the past couple days, including the Long Beach Reform Coalition and the Long Beach Local News, somewhat refreshing news outlet. So I'm going to briefly give a summation of events of late and something of an explanation of the bizarre situation I've been dealing with here personally. So, to review, recently I went to City Hall, to the courthouse, to the police department, seeking copies of documents that had been withheld from me for upwards of, I'd say, 10 years plus, that resulted in me being falsely charged with numerous crimes and arrested on several occasions, as this document shall show. I do believe this occurred when I was in the petition nomination phase of campaigning for Congress in either 2016 or 2014. I can't really tell at this point. So, nevertheless, I went on a document gathering mission, which included trying to obtain police arrest records that I had to give fingerprints for and pay something, I think it was like $21, only to be told that my requests for these records were denied. All of this revolved around falsely obtained restraining orders that were obtained against me by an individual who was a violent criminal known to the Long Beach Violent Crimes Detectives Division, who once again threatened me yesterday or the day before in public down at the end of the street in front of the bank. And I had to file yet another police complaint against him for making terrorist threats to kill me in front of several people 50 feet away. So this is what has occurred as of a couple days ago. I have obtained the original restraining order that this gentleman got against me several days after I had filed a complaint against him for his fourth attempt to violently assault me in the street. Up to a couple days ago, I was unable to get any of this information from the courts. When I tried in 2016, the court clerks told me that this document was not in the file. So thankfully, recently it was, because this is one of several restraining orders that this same individual got against me over the course of 2 years or better, as I was campaigning either for mayor or for Congress. So, as the situation stands, I have obtained the documents I need to substantiate my charges that I was being falsely charged, held against my will. It was just a circus. And so this basically proves all that. Now, we move to the situation here at my apartment, which has been something of a bizarre disaster waiting to happen, which I've tried on multiple occasions to report to the fire department, to the code enforcement department, to the health department, to their insurance company, which I couldn't track down. There's numerous electrical outlets that are defective. There are appliances that have been defective and need to be repaired for some time. There's a number of issues that need to be properly inspected and then repaired. I've been going around and around with the landlord, the property owners, I should say, and the property manager in order to address these issues, because it's a hazard to everyone in the building. While the existing outlets are so obsolete, they don't provide enough current to power something as simple as a space heater, while the installed radiant ceiling heating system hasn't worked properly forever. And when you try to use it, it is an astronomical electrical bill. So we have defective heating, electrical hazards, and a number of other issues that need to be properly inspected and then rectified. This is all revolved around the property owner trying to saddle the tenants with half of the costs of the required renovations that need to be done over reasonable amounts of time. So this particular unit has not been properly updated in probably 20 years, the entire time. My roommate, who's lived here the whole time, has been here because the landlord has basically told him he has to be saddled with half of the costs. So we have a unit that is technically uninhabitable because of the policies of the property owner. Now, recently he hired a property manager who I reported all of this to, and apparently, due to my anger over her ignoring me, has decided to completely ignore me and went on to block my emails and make false accusations against me to the police department for harassing her because I was telling her I was going to report her to the police department and the fire department and the code enforcement department. Nevertheless, this saga has dragged on for 3 months. I've made three attempts. I've made three declaration of vacancy statements in hopes of getting my deposit refunded and being able to move and change my address and no longer have any legal entanglements here. While she has steadily ignored all three for probably a minimum of 60 days. While she arrived here recently. Now, I need to back up here a little bit. I demanded that they send someone over here to inspect the apartment. And her only response, after blocking my emails forever, was to finally pop up and say, we haven't decided on your deposit, or I have to talk to the homeowners, and left it at that. And then said she was dispatching an electrician from AAA Calvert Electricians, I do believe, to come and do the repairs. And as you will see, this is the document that we were provided. And let's see, the 29th of September, okay? Now, I had already complained about the outlets and all the other things. And this is exactly what she sent the person to do, to inspect and or repair the smoke detectors. That was it, okay? This was in September. Now, suddenly, 2 days ago, I do believe, after I had done all of this documentary barnstorming, we have this document where the property manager decided to suddenly reemerge from the shadows and decided that she felt that due to all the emails I had been sending her about not doing the right thing, she suddenly decided 2 days ago that she was concerned about my personal welfare because I had been telling her that the conditions here were giving me extreme stress. I caught pneumonia and I've almost recovered from it. And I've been dealing with severe migraine headaches, which I inherited from my mother, but I learned to tolerate. So the conditions on me have been terrible. I've lost clients, I've lost work, I've lost an enormous amount of income. So here we have the magical appearance of the property manager. The same day, I do believe, that, no, actually, I think it was the day after, I went and acquired all my documents. She magically appears with a work order. She's going to inspect the chimneys and service if needed because there's been a horrific amount of damage to the ceiling where the chimney goes through that has never been repaired. And now suddenly, we're going to repair all the electrical outlets and light fixtures. Now, what is terrible is she decided to call the police and tell them that she wanted them to accompany her here when she brought this document under the pretense of doing a welfare check on me. Okay, now she hadn't even sent me an email or anything in response to whether or not I was going to be able to move out and get my deposit. Now she's going to magically appear by, in my opinion, making false statements to the police department about needing to make a welfare check on me, basically only bringing them with her to escort her to prevent me from basically criticizing her. In a sense, trying to use the police department to intimidate me so she couldn't basically be held accountable for being irresponsible. So here we are. What was that? 2 months ago? Yeah, she sent somebody to inspect the smoke detectors. 2 days ago, suddenly we got the right thing happening here. But no, I even asked her when she was here with the police, what about my deposit? What about me being able to move? She didn't say anything. She didn't even answer. She then decided to walk away and left me standing there talking to the two police officers who basically asked me if I was okay. And I said, yeah, I am. And I find it to be very bizarre that she decided to call you. Now, I would like everybody to know I sent an email to her telling her I didn't appreciate that and that I thought it was a violation of the law, among other people that I forwarded it to. So, this is a situation, okay? I'm dealing with utter nonsense. And I think this should sufficiently prove that I have a pretty good cause to demand to be relocated and the other things that I have requested, because this circus has just been a complete nightmare. And this is basically the kind of wrap up I hope is sufficient for anyone who's been wondering what's going on around here. So happy Saturday night, ladies and gentlemen. I'm actually hoping to have a bonfire at some time and just relax and enjoy some good company. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen.